Oh, those birds, those wonderful birds, they fly through the trees, they hoot and they chirp. Oh, those birds, those wonderful birds, they live near my home, they live in the woods.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Milwaukee County Zoo and the Bird Show. I'm sure everybody recognizes this bird, right? Yes, this is Norbert, the American bald eagle, and he is just one of the many beautiful birds we have to show you today. Other animals, like bats and insects, can fly, but what does Norbert have that they don't have? What covers his whole body? Shout it out, what do you think? Feathers! Feathers, that's exactly right. Feathers allow birds like Norbert to fly higher, further, and much more swiftly than any other creature on the planet. Feathers allow these birds to occupy every corner of the globe, from the scorched deserts all the way to the frozen tundra. And today, with the help of our beautiful birds like Norbert, trainers Erica, Cori, and myself, you will all learn more about feathers and the birds that wear them. During our show today, there's going to be many free flight presentations where the birds like Norbert are going to fly directly over your heads. So it's very important that you all remain seated for the whole show. And don't try to touch the birds as they fly by. One more very important thing, if you happen to look up at our beautiful birds, I highly recommend that you keep your mouths closed. Feathers have been a part of this planet for a very long time. In 1861, one of the most revolutionary fossils ever discovered was revealed to the world because of a Cori man's nasty cough. This man paid his doctor's bill with fossils that he found in a limestone quarry in Germany. The fossils turned out to be the famous Archaeopteryx, the first feathered fossil ever discovered. Archaeopteryx was a little animal about the same size as Marshmallow, our little European barn owl. But Archaeopteryx was not technically a bird. It was a feathered dinosaur. It had wings just like Marshmallow does. And Archaeopteryx had claws on the edges of its wings and a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. Well, Marshmallow obviously has no claws on the edge of his wings or any teeth in his beak, but he does have 8 pointy talons on the tips of his toes, and I can tell you, those are plenty effective. Marshmallow also has some feathers that give him a very special ability: silent flight. How about that? You guys didn't hear any wing flaps, did you? That's right, that's because the leading and trailing edges of Marshmallow's wingtips are fringed, just like a comb's teeth. These fringes actually muffle the wind as it passes through the wing, making this owl one of nature's best mousetraps. In fact, his hearing is so well, he can hear the pitter-patter of little mouse feet from as much as 90 feet away. Fly to and capture it in complete darkness. Marshmallow is a European barn owl. He is a very small owl, but they have barn owls on every continent in the world except for Antarctica. So how about a hand for our spectacular silent flyer Marshmallow? He's a little owl. You guys want to see an even bigger owl? Yeah. Okay, meet Emerson, the Eurasian eagle owl. He is a member of the largest owl species in the world. Now look at these incredible eyes. These piercing orange eyes. Emerson can actually see by the light of just one candle, even if that candle was placed 4 football fields away under total darkness. Emerson is the newest bird in our bird show. He is only 2 years old, and he has been flying in audiences since his very first season. Well, the feathers on ancient animals, like Archaeopteryx, as well as modern birds like the owls we showed you today, are all made of the same protein that makes up your hair and your fingernails. This is a protein called keratin, but in bird feathers it's a lot more complicated. Well, and speaking of protein, there's two tasty little nuggets right now, that is omelet and casanova. Those are our bantam cochin chickens. That's a breed that's native to South Asia. People often keep them as pets there. Well, you guys have got to see quite a diversity of birds so far. One of the things I really like about birds is their amazing diversity. Really, the only thing that unites them as a group is the fact that they all have feathers. Birds have a wide range of intelligence, too. Now, I'm sure you all have heard about the wise old owls, right? Sometimes they show them with a graduation cap on and glasses, trying to make them look smart. Well, now that Emerson and Marshmallow are off stage, I can go ahead and tell you, although I'm sure they can hear me, owls are not the brightest crayons in the box. But here is a member of one of the most intelligent bird species on the planet. I'd like you all to meet my little friend. Hello there. Would you like to share your name? One more time. What's that name? Nemo is an African gray parrot from Central Africa. Well, Nemo, I don't know about you. It's kind of early in the morning. This audience is looking a bit sleepy. Do you think they're sleepy? Oh, that's a really good yawn. Well, you know what you can do for them, right? You gotta wake them up with your rooster. Well, now that you're all wide awake, Nemo and I are going to share a story with you all today. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess. Was she really pretty, Nemo? Did she have curly hair and khaki pants and a blue shirt, too? Oh, she had to have been gorgeous. One day, that princess was stolen away by an evil ogre. Nemo knew he had to rescue her, so he chased after that evil ogre and found his castle. Nemo flew up to that castle with a nice loud charge. When Nemo got to the castle, but it was locked. The door was locked, so Nemo had to knock. The ogre opened it. It was Nemo. He threw up his big wings, and he scared the ogre away. And the princess was so happy she'd been rescued, she gave Nemo a big kiss. And together, they flew off into the sunset. Ready? Whee! You know, in addition to telling stories, Nemo is unique in so many ways. Say, Nemo, what makes you so special? I can talk, can you fly? Well, I can talk, honey, but I can't fly. You sure got me beat. Well, you want to give our audience a wave goodbye? Let's hear it for Nemo! Nemo is pretty adorable. Looks, intelligence, personality, he's got it all. But please don't let him inspire you to run out to the pet store and get a parrot like that as a pet. Parrots are really loud. They need a lot of attention, and you're probably not going to get to sleep in again because most parrot species actually outlive their owners. Nemo can live to be 70 years old or more, and many species live past 100. So keep in mind that parrots don't make good pets for most families. Well, what's the difference between a parrot like Nemo and a macaw? Here to help us out with that today is Rio. Rio is a red and green macaw. You can see she's quite a bit larger than Nemo, and she has a really thick upper beak that she can use to crush the tough nuts and seeds in her rainforest home. Rio's native to South America. Look at all those brilliant colors on Rio. You can see she's showing off the blues and greens and of course that vibrant red. But did you know that Rio actually has no true pigmentation on those feathers? Pigmentation is what gives you your hair and skin color. Rio doesn't have a whole lot of that. All these brilliant hues are produced by how the light hits her feathers and then scatters off of it. In fact, if you held one of those gorgeous feathers up to direct light, it would actually appear completely gray. light plays off those feathers really makes good camouflage in her rainforest home. Those feathers also protect Rio from predators. If she thinks danger is near, like another bird, like a bird of prey, for example, well, she's just going to fly in really close formation with the other members of her flock. Now, those flashing feathers will actually confuse a predator. Makes it hard to pick out just one bird to prey upon. Each one of Rio's flight feathers, as well as her tail feathers, has a special shape called an airfoil. This airfoil shape creates lift and helps move her through the air. Now watch how she uses her tail as she flies back to her trainer, Erica. She's going to use that tail to help her balance and also to help her steer through the air just like a runner. Then she can open it up and put on the brakes. Well, parrots really work for applause more than anything, so let's give a hand to Leah. It's pretty easy to see where Leah gets her species name, right? Red and green macaw. It's after all those feathers. The next bird we're going to show you today also gets its species name from some very distinctive red feathers on its tail. Joining us on the fence next to the speaker is Wagner. Wagner is a red-tailed hawk. He is the most common bird of prey in North America. There are over 60 nesting pairs right here in the Milwaukee area. So chances are, if you see a bird of prey around your house or maybe perched along the highway, the odds are it's a red-tailed hawk like Wagner. These birds are so common because they're what biologists like to call an opportunist. That's a fancy way of saying that Wagner is not at all picky about what he preys upon. Mice, rats, moles, voles, snakes, squirrels, little birds, you name it, Wagner can hunt it. He rips up his prey using his hooked upper beak. It works like a knife and fork. Wagner, of course, has excellent eyesight. If he was perched on one end of a football field and you tacked a newspaper up to the other end, Wagner would actually be able to read the print. If he could read, of course. And he has very strong feet. That is the most important feature about birds of prey like Wagner. If even the strongest person on the feet here today made a fist as hard as you can, it still would not be even 1/5 of the power that's contained in Wagner's feet when he closes them. The bones inside his feet work like a ratchet. So when he grabs a hold of his prey, it's not going anywhere. Now, I'm sure you all have heard the story of the Titanic, right? The boat that sank back in 1912 because it hit an iceberg and took a lot of people down to the bottom of the ocean with it. It was a big tragedy. But the Titanic also took a lot of stuff down to the bottom of the ocean with it. Did you know that the most expensive item to fall to the ocean floor that day, it wasn't a car, it wasn't jewelry, wasn't even Leonardo DiCaprio, oh no, it was 40 cases of ostrich feathers. Back in 1912, the feathers from ostriches, egrets, and storks were used in women's hats. It caused the value of the feathers to skyrocket. So birds like Otis, the white-bellied stork, did not stand a chance. They became fashion icons. But thanks to a change of fashion and a change of the laws, a lot of these birds have made a comeback today. Otis is native to Africa. They're considered good luck in Africa because they migrate a couple days ahead of the rainy season. So when farmers see these birds, they know the rains are on their way. You can see more white-bellied storks, just like Otis, right here at the Milwaukee County Zoo's aviary. They have 18 individuals there, so if you didn't get enough of Mr. Otis, you have plenty more chances to see them right up close. Well, in addition to helping birds fly, feathers also help birds regulate their body temperature. The color of a bird's feather plays a major role in this. Dark feathers absorb the sunlight, warming the bird up. Light feathers reflect more of the sunlight, keeping the bird cooler. The next bird we're going to show you is very similar to a species you would find right here in Wisconsin, but this bird's native to Africa. She's got a white stripe on her back and belly to help keep her cool. She's also one of the most intelligent birds on the planet, and I think you're all going to love this next behavior. So at this time, can I ask the volunteers that were chosen at the beginning of the show, go ahead and stand up and hold the bottles as you were shown. Our next bird, Einstein, is going to demonstrate how to recycle. Okay, Einstein, what do you see out there? She's going to scan the horizons. Now, there's a lot of people in the audience today. It might be harder for her to see you on the background, so if you want to take an extra step down, that did the trick. Her vision is largely motion-based. You can go ahead and give her that can. She's going to bring it back to stage and recycle it. Do you see anything else out there in the audience today that should be recycled? She's a very smart bird, about as smart as a 3 or 4-year-old child. She has spotted a bottle. She's not going to let that end up in the landfill. She's going to put that in the recycling bin. Einstein, you did a great job. Well, Einstein's in the corvid family, the same family that contains ravens and jays. But I know that if a bird is smart enough to recycle, you all can recycle too, right? So no excuses. Well, Einstein's a pied crow. Pied is a fancy word for two-colored. Let's bring back another two-toned bird. How about an American one this time? White head, white tail, brown body. Let's see Norbert, the American bald eagle again. And Norbert didn't get these famous feathers until he was 5 years old. Before that, he was mostly brown. If you look closely at Norbert's handsome face, you can see he still has some brown around his eyes. But Norbert is 7 years old. He's probably going to retain those brown markings most of his life. I like to say he has a very youthful complexion. Bald eagles like Norbert build the largest nests out of any bird of prey. This is because, like most birds of prey, they like to use the same nest over and over. They just add sticks to it. Well, this way, the largest nest ever discovered was found in Florida. And that nest weighed 3 tons before it finally just snapped to the tree they built in it. That is like an SUV in a tree. Bald eagles, like Norbert and the other birds, are symbols of wildness and freedom. But keep in mind that even they are not free from the choices that you make in your everyday lives. Choosing to recycle, save energy, conserve water. Well, all these choices will make a really big difference. And we'll be sure to have these beautiful birds and their feathers with us for years to come. After the show, we invite you to approach the stage and you can get some good pictures of Norbert and ask us any questions you might have. And if you would like to make a contribution to organizations that support the conservation of these wonderful birds, like the Milwaukee County Zoo and the World Bird Sanctuary, you may do so with the help of our final bird, Cherry. Cherry's an African pied crow like Einstein. She'd be more than happy to take your donation directly from your hand. You can bring it all the way up to her, and she will place it into her donation box. Well, have a wonderful day here at Milwaukee County Zoo, and have a safe drive home.